Hello and good morning. Welcome to the Video Lowdown, episode 9. This is the power of video in a vodcast. On Wednesday, the 8th of July, episode 9 already, nearly at the magic 10. Can't believe we've been going this long. Thanks to everyone that's been watching so far. We've got a really interesting guest today. She's absolutely manically busy at the moment during this whole crisis and pandemic. You'll find out shortly why. Today on the episode, we've got Natalie Barlow from Best4U Mortgages. She is an expert mortgage broker with over 22 years experience for one of the county's best known brokerage companies in Northamptonshire County, I should say. She has been using video over the past couple of years to kind of raise her profile, but also to help educate and inform. Mortgages finance can be a tricky subject at the best of times, with a wealth of knowledge out there, but who do you go to, where do you turn to when you've got those burning questions? Natalie certainly is one of those people. Natalie, thanks for joining me today. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. You're welcome. Very well.
Good, thank you.
Miserable weather out there.
I know, it's nice to be indoors, and thank you so much for joining me today. We'll come on to shortly, Natalie, the trials and the tribulations of I guess some of the difficulties that people have been going through with their mortgage and finances during this current pandemic, and how you're helping people kind of overcome that by giving them really good advice. But let's go back to the beginning. How did you get into finance, mortgages? Is it something you chose? Is it something you fell into? How did where did your journey start?
Well, I was originally in the family business. We've been an IFAs originally. We had a small insurance broker arm to our business, and I left there when I was 16 because I wasn't being paid enough, and obviously the grass was green on the other side. Went off and worked for a big insurance broker in Northampton. Loved working there, but I could see that I was going to find it hard to progress, learn a lot about politics and big companies, and decided that maybe the grass wasn't so green. And went back to my family business and had a chat with my dad. And I was like, I'm not enjoying this. What can I do? And he said, why don't you have a look at these flexible mortgages? So at the time, they were current account mortgages. And my dad and his business partner at the time just didn't have the time to explain them to people. So I was like, yeah, okay, then I'll give it a go. Sat down, did all my mortgage exams, passed them really well. And it really just took off from there. So a few years later, I actually brought out my dad's business partner, Ernie, and became a fully fledged partner in the business. And then from there, we just took it a lot higher. My dad's not long, sort of semi-retired now. He's actually 70 this month. So that's John Townsend, for a lot of people that do know him. Yeah. And and we've just gone from sort of strength to strength. I've changed things, improved processes, given sort of a bit of a more of a stringent backbone to the company, so that we can hopefully take on more advisors. We've got Cara with us now, who's my insurance advisor, who does all the protection and GI and business insurance. John is still doing a bit of advising, so he mainly concentrates on business insurance, so anything like your key man, shareholder protection, that's the bit that he still loves doing, and while he loves doing it, he can carry on doing it for me. So, and then we also have Beth, our financial administrator, who sort of mops up everything behind me and Cara, and sort of keeps the office going behind us. And we've just taken on a virtual assistant as well. So she actually is a bit of not an advisor, although she has the qualifications to advise. She's sort of helping us with some applications, as I'm getting so sort of bogged down really with the amount of applications we've got in the pipeline at the minute. So we are getting to the point now where we want to look at taking on more self-employed advisors over the next couple of years. So watch this space. Hopefully we'll get bigger and better.
Yeah, so that's a fantastic journey. You've got a really, really great little team there by the sounds of it. I say little team, you're obviously doing a huge amount of work amongst the handful of people that you've got there. You must have seen so many changes, like having started in the industry, say, 20 plus years ago. You've seen the highs, the lows, the financial dips, the recessions,
I've been through one recession, obviously back in 2008. I think it actually came into the industry just at the start or the beginning, at the end of the very first recession, because I can remember my dad sort of saying to me, have a look for all these files and see what you can find. And I was coming across people on 15% fixed interest rates and like ridiculously high interest
Wow.
rates, so having to
Yeah.
remortgage them away to new rates. So all I've ever known is all I've done is see rates come down,
Yeah.
and we're now an all-time low. Obviously, we've never seen Bank of England be this low, and
Mm.
it's interesting. There's a lot of talk about the Bank of England going to a minus, and they may be paying us to take mortgages soon.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
not sure that's going to happen because the lenders are not. They're not following suit, as in they're not bringing their variable rates down that low, because obviously they've got savers to look after, a lot of them as well. So
Mm.
yeah, we've been through a lot of highs and lows, and good times and bad times. Luckily, we all have partners that support us, and when
Yeah.
the bad times have been low, we've managed to keep on going, because there's been many times where I've nearly thrown the towel in and said it's just not
Yeah.
worth
I
it.
bet.
But now
Yeah.
we're on the up again, and yeah, carry on, keep going.
Fantastic, Natalie. Fantastic. Well, I should say as well to everyone watching today, if you've got any, well, we've got Natalie with us. If you've got any questions, obviously we can't go specifically personal details, but if you've got any general questions about the current climate and what that might mean to a mortgage, if we do get a couple of questions on that, Natalie, you're happy to answer them if they come
Yeah,
in.
of course. Yeah,
Perfect.
definitely.
Wonderful. Thank you. So yeah, you know, it's a very heavily regulated industry. I'm assuming.
Definitely.
We had a
Yes.
guy on in the first few episodes who works in health and safety, and you know, we were talking about how although it's a heavily regulated industry, you still have the scope to repackage that legislation in your own way, which is what's going to help you build your profile, help build your brand, and you know, stand you head and shoulders above the competition. So everybody's, I guess, is working with the same legislation, but it's how you then take that, how you interpret it to each individual's case, I guess. So in your situation, when you first started to use video on your journey to kind of help educate people and give you know, you've got two sides to it. You've got the video content that you're producing that is the evergreen, you know, which is like how to remortgage, and you know, the questions that you're giving answers to the questions that people are looking for. And then we briefly discussed before we started the episode today that you're doing a little bit of you know, one-to-oneing through Zoom video calls, you know, with brokers, with clients, that you can give them that kind of extra, you know, that personal level of service, which you might not be able to do face to face at the moment. So where did your, you know, you mentioned to me before that a lot of video, a lot of mortgage brokers and mortgage experts aren't using video to do that. So why are you doing that? What you know, how did you first get into using video to help educate and help put your name out there?
I can't really remember the specific time when I started doing it, but I just like to educate people and
Mm,
give people the knowledge to go and get a mortgage easily, or be prepared really for a mortgage. And obviously I'm a broker and I want people to use me, but essentially I'm happy to just give out a lot of my knowledge to say, because I think a lot of the time I get people come to me and they're either very happy because I've managed to do they want, or they're a bit
yep.
disappointed because they haven't understood that the bank statements don't look great. And so I'm having to explain why I either can't do a mortgage now or what to do to get it ready. So I would love everybody to come to me with a really neatly packaged lot of paperwork without me having to go through everything, with a fine tooth
Yeah.
comb and sort of say, oh, there's a direct debit's bounced here. Can you let me know why that happened? And
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of the times it is just minor mishaps, but you sort of have to put on your lender glasses and think, well, if I was going to lender and I wanted going to lend you £500,000, would I lend you one if you can't keep up to payments on your credit card, for example, even if you
Mm,
earn a lot of money? Just
yeah.
It's just about being organised all the time and stuff like that. So it is very hard sometimes, which is why we've got really great procedures set up now, so that we send an email out to all our new clients, which gives a whole list of the documents that we want, to hopefully they get it together to give it to us, so that we are pretty reasonably well packaged, and I can spot the signs before I send it to a lender, before they may sort of come back at me with questions. But we
Mm,
get so many different and complex cases that I don't think any one client is the same anyway.
No, of course
So
not. But the video content that you're putting out there then is there really to try and help educate people before they step through your door, right? So it's rather than just coming
yes,
with you with a bin bag full of statements and documents
yeah,
and stuff going, oh, can
yeah,
you sort this out? You're trying to
yeah,
help educate those people before, and I
yeah,
think that's,
yeah, and
video is a
it's just
fantastic way.
explaining. Yeah, it's just explaining why these sort of things are picked up by lenders. So you're just, like you say, you just want to educate people all the time. And I'm happy to, if people want to go to lenders direct, because technically there are people out there that could do it. But
Yeah,
if they get something wrong when they go to a lender, then it's helping them to understand as well why they might have been turned down, or what to look for, that type of thing. So yes.
yeah. But I think a broker makes much more sense. Like when I'm doing my car insurance, my life insurance, home insurance, I never go direct. I'm always using fair enough, I'm using online sites, maybe a bit naughty, bit of a naughty word, but I'm using
Yeah,
online like brokerage services where I can look at the best
yeah,
rate, not just the cheapest. It's not about, well, for some people I think it probably is, but it's not about the cheapest rate, but it's about the okay, what boxes are ticked, from which companies at a reasonable cost that I can afford, rather than
yeah.
going straight to one company and going, that's too expensive, I'm not going to bother doing it.
Yeah, I think the trouble with a lot of online stuff, it's about what you can't see rather than what you can see.
Yeah,
Because your
yeah, it's
typical
fair.
example is car insurance. It, are you seeing your compulsory excess as well as your voluntary excess that might have been snuck into the quotation?
Yeah, yeah,
With mortgages, it's a lot about the fees. So yes, with normal mortgages, you're talking an average fee of £1,000 by the lender. But if you've got a very small mortgage, like a £50,000 mortgage, and the interest rate is 1.2% with a 995 fee, actually going up a little bit in rate to 1.35 with no fees whatsoever is a much better deal at
yeah,
£50,000, because you'll never
yeah,
gain that £1,000 back over the short period of time you might have that special rate. Whereas if you've got a £500,000 mortgage, a 999 fee is going to get swallowed up very quickly, and you're going to definitely save the money on a monthly basis. And likewise, buy to let mortgages, they have extortionate fees on them. So we're
mm,
constantly going to and fro in between them, trying to work out the best deal for the client, so that they're not overpaying, especially when you're remortgaging every couple of years. You don't want to be adding on £1,000 fee every time, because you're undoing what you've just done for the last 2 years. And if you've got an
yeah,
interest only mortgage, then all you're doing is increasing it every year, every time you remortgage.
absolutely. Look, there's so much value. Look, we've only been doing it for about 10 minutes. Just loads of value coming out of the screen. Is fantastic. So you obviously have to keep up to date with legislation and the industry, and it sounds
Yeah.
like a minefield. So how do you keep up to date with industry knowledge? Do you
We
use
have,
video? Do you use video courses?
as part of the industry rules with the FCA, we have to do a set amount of structured hours CPD, so your continuing professional development, and our compliance manager checks everything that we're doing every year. So that can be anything from a buy-to-let seminar. So we'll go to a hotel somewhere, and there will be all the buy-to-let lenders there who are obviously want us to put our clients to them. So they're all giving us their unique selling points, their USPs. Then you might have, so just recently during lockdown, we usually get brokers come and see us, sorry, not brokers, lenders, BDMs
Mm,
come to see us and remind us of the special bits. Because when we're going through sourcing systems, they will always source the lender that's got the cheapest rate, which is what we ask it to do. But then from there, we have to sift through, work out whether they actually fit with the lender.
the
So
requirements, yeah, of course.
the lender coming to see us just reminds us of their USPs, because sometimes I'll have files that sit in my top tray for a couple of weeks because they've been hard to place, and then a lender will come and see me, and I'll be like that. Oh, I've got one here that might suit you. Oh, I've got another one here, or I've got one in the
Yeah,
back of my
yeah,
head still that I'm thinking, oh, that might work with you. So normally they come and visit us. Obviously, with this lockdown situation, they've been zooming us, and
yes,
I think it was a company called Masthaven, a lender. They decided to do a Zoom call, and they had over 50 brokers on the call, like
nice.
learning what Masthaven do. And in the real world, they probably wouldn't have saw those 50 brokers in 1 year, let alone in one call. So hopefully, it should give the lenders now a bit more of a chance to get out to see us brokers a bit more. So, because a lot of brokers are normally one-man bands, working from home. So a lot of things are not different for a lot of people. So, we do a lot of that. And with the structured CPDs, it is the big shows, the big seminars that we go to keep our own education up, and
absolutely.
keep in line with all the compliance. They say that the FCA rule book is over 9 foot high.
Wow.
Nice bit
I'm
of bedtime
6 foot
reading.
So that's me looking up at it as well.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. So the use of Zoom has brought, so more people are going to be getting more knowledge through the use of these kind of video calls than they are if they would have had to have traveled. As you say, the cost of holding those, educational events and people turning up, and maybe they have to hold 4 or 5 a year to try and accommodate that many people, but actually they can do an hour, 2-hour session or multiple sessions over a few days with everybody just dialing into a number. It's brilliant. And I think that's one big thing that we've seen, isn't it, through this lockdown period, is everybody's now connecting with Zoom, with Microsoft Teams, with all these Skype, all these video apps where you can just, I'm FaceTiming my mum every other day so she can see little Henry, a grandson. You think, because it's just, I never did it as much before, even being a video producer, since the start of lockdown. I think everybody maybe is thinking the same thing, and I think we'll all keep doing it now we realize how good it is.
We always done a lot of telephone advice, and we usually try and meet the client for the initial appointment, and that's more about face-to-face contact. We have to match the face to their ID. Well, now we can do that with Zoom, especially like the lifetime mortgages. And we're sharing a screen and things like that, so I can show somebody around our sourcing system and produce the quotes there and then, and email them over straight to the client. So it does make a big difference. And when you're talking on the phone, it's okay, but you can have your phone on speaker, or they can have their phone on speaker. But when you can actually have 2 people on your screen in front of you, and they're both listening to you, so it is
absolutely
very good. I'm enjoying it.
Good. It's more of a captive audience, isn't it? Speakerphone stuff, you can half listen in and do something else, but you can see if they're like just looking away going, oh yeah. You can see if they're actually paying attention or not. So I hear that you're on the TikTok train.
Yes.
Is this for fun? Is it part of a business angle? Like I have heard many business owners say that it can give you a higher awareness, a higher profile as a business owner. But what do you use it for?
In this new business module that we're in, one of the things was obviously TikTok gets to the younger generation, but there's some great famous people on there like Amanda Holder and Eldest Idra, whatever his name is, doing some great ones. And so they'd said to us, go and do a TikTok and just make it a funny one, and then you can start to bring the business stuff in. But me and Cara have been playing around with them with our daughters, who are really good at TikTok, and so we're definitely going to do some carry on, but we're going to bring the mortgage and insurance advice into it. But we just want to jazz it up a bit, because mortgages and insurance can be so boring. So and I'm learning to do my own TikTok, and it's almost a bit of a race now between me and my daughter Lara as to who can get the most views on a video. So that's also been quite funny. But me and Cara have got loads of ideas, but it's been a bit awkward because of the whole social distancing thing. We can only do ones where we're supposed to be a metre apart from each other. So Cara was gonna bring her grandma around yesterday, and do a video a metre apart, but her grandma decided she didn't want to come round in the end. So
bless her.
She wanted to stay safe, and
she's probably doing her own TikTok.
Yeah, probably. So
it's
so
brilliant.
watch the space. We're going to be doing more TikTok.
I see lots of people using TikTok, and I was saying to my partner the other day, like, people are genuinely using it for like, business people are genuinely using it to try and build a profile. She was having none of it. I mean, she's put a couple of TikToks on of our bunny, and that's got over 100 likes, more than what the kids have got. So it's a bit of a race at the minute between our eldest and the bunny in the hutch. And the bunny seems to be coming out on top at the minute. So I think it's fantastic. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that stuff, because I think some people the people who do take it really seriously, but have fun with it as well. Like Gary Vee is a massive advocate. Gary Vaynerchuk, huge advocate of TikTok. Like he was on the TikTok train like months, dare I say, even a year, 2 years ago when it first started blowing up, because he, he's obviously advocating the use of social media and any platform. But it's tailoring your content, isn't it? It's tailoring your content to that platform, your video content to that platform, which obviously TikTok is very, can be very tailored.
Yeah, I think that's why we started trying to go down the Instagram route as well, because Instagram's very photo generated, and it's quite hard to find a photo that depicts mortgages and insurance. So
yeah, sure.
We have managed to do a few, but that's where the video comes in quite good on the old Instagram. So yeah.
And that's the challenge, isn't it? It's making a potentially mortgages and finance is something that people need to know about at some point in their life, but it can be considered a dry, I said this to the health and safety guy, James, I said it can be considered a dry topic to some, but you're obviously out there to go, well, no, it isn't. It's actually really interesting. And if you look at these factors and this experiences, and this is how we can wrap this up for you, and you're obviously passionate about that, and you love doing that for your clients. So they don't want to, I would imagine that most of your clients don't want to do it themselves. I certainly wouldn't want to do that myself. So using video to raise your profile, like, are you then becoming more, I know you do a lot of networking. I used to hit the same networking scenes when I was over in Kettering and Northants. Are you becoming more recognized locally? Are you having more people call you up saying, oh, I've seen the content that you're producing. Can you help me out?
Yeah, we're getting a lot more inquiries coming in off of the internet and Facebook mainly. I'm also getting a lot of colleagues. So we went to one of our lenders has an open pub event, which may not happen this year. And about 3 other brokers come and tapped me on the shoulder last year and just said, I know you, I've seen you on LinkedIn. I like your videos. And I was like, oh, thanks. And that was like sort of a bit unusual, almost Brilliant. Becoming a bit of a mortgage celebrity type person. But yeah, I mean, even I've got friends that watch some of my videos, which is really nice, and they haven't used me and probably don't ever need my services. But she's like, I love watching videos. They're just so informative. And I think hopefully they're passing on my information to other people that they know.
Absolutely.
So when I did one on the back of my horse the other day. And it was purely because I'd got all intentions of doing a video or a couple of videos that day, and work had got in the way and I hadn't got around to doing it. And I'd got dressed, because that's what you do when you've got to put your face on a video, and put makeup on and everything. And then I hadn't actually got to the end of the day. And I was like, I needed to go out for a ride on my horse and have a bit of me time. And I was just like, I didn't do that video today. And I was like, oh, no, what? Let's just do it now. So I did, clicked my phone on Fantastic. And did it there and then. So we've had a few ideas about some other ones I can do while on horseback. So apparently there was another broker within our business module, and she was going to do it, but I beat her to it.
Nice.
I think it's going to be a race now between me and her as to how many videos we can do on horseback. So
that'd be brilliant. Yeah, I think that's great, and it's because the content that you're producing is accessible no matter where you are. It doesn't matter that you're on horseback, whether you're in your office, whether you're at home, whether you're out in the street. Nowadays, people they've been desensitized to where content is filmed. People don't really mind anymore that that videos can be filmed anywhere.
Well, when I go to some of those seminars, sometimes the information is so fresh in my head that I get out and get into my car and do it. And you kind of just have to ignore what's going on around you. I've watched my daughter doing her videos as she's walking into Primark, like loads of people around her, not having a care in the world. And I was like, why not? That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Just carry on with life. If you want to get on with life and be successful, sometimes you have to ignore what other people think of you.
Yeah, and people don't care 10 seconds later. Yeah, they look at you at the time and go, what's going on there? And then go and have their lunch and forgot. Yeah, of course they do. Absolutely, yeah, that's right. So the future then of the content that you're producing, I know you are very active on LinkedIn. You do have a YouTube channel for Best4U. I know you opened on Monday, was it now? You're back in the office from Monday?
Yeah, we reopened the office. We're fortunate where our position is in town. We've got an electric door anyway, so we can people can come by prior appointment still, and we've got screens set up and all the correct health and safety. So and funnily enough, our desks have always been 2 meters apart anyway, so even with if there's 4 of us in there, we can still function. So
yeah, brilliant.
yes.
So the future of you creating content though, are you gonna just keep posting every couple of days or few days as you're doing? Have you thought about maybe putting together a more formal kind of mortgage masterclass, a series of content? Are you thinking bigger at the moment, or are you happy for now just to keep
Yeah,
doing
it's
your
definitely
lives?
something. Yeah, definitely. It's something we want to really sort of push a bit more. And like you say, it's just finding different ways of making it a bit more interesting with opening up a private Facebook group, things like that. We're actually joining forces with some other people in the industry. So I've got a pensions lady and a tax advisor, and me and Cara, who specialise in insurance and mortgages. And that probably sounds very boring to a lot of people, but if you want to build a portfolio, it's somewhere where we're going to be creating content and information for people that really want to start investing, and just being aware of all the pitfalls, people that have got very successful businesses, making sure they're getting all their correct tax advice, those sorts of things. So yeah, we're always looking at new ways, and we do need to get more regular with it. It's hard when you're
It
busy
is.
doing
Yep.
the business as well
Yep.
as all the marketing that goes on in the background. So we're trying to start to schedule it a bit better and try and get a more regular thing going on. So yes.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And obviously so many people at the moment are, their financial situation is unsure. They're losing jobs, losing businesses, maybe having to rely on savings. So now more than ever is a fantastic time to be putting out educational content around these topics, because
Yeah.
I think people will absolutely lap it up, because they need to feel that reassurance that, well, it's going to be okay one way or another. Not quite sure yet how, but and I think the stuff that you and Cara and the team at Best4U are doing is definitely giving off that message of like that personable message and that warmth, and that, well, these are people I can talk to and not get bogged down with technical jargon or worried about being judged or whatever. It's just that I think
well,
that's the
lenders are just changing the goalposts so much on a regular basis. I've actually got an accountant in the town who I think is lobbying the government, because some of the lenders are penalising people that have taken bounce back loans, grants, they've received any of the grants, because what you're essentially saying is your business is struggling. Now, find me somebody that didn't take a grant, and they're not going to say, hang on a minute, I don't want that grant. I don't want that to help me, because I know there's people
uncertain times
that have and a lot of people can't say now whether their business is affected. Some people, us for example, we were in March when it all went into lockdown, we were still receiving money from and our earnings from mortgages we'd done in November, December. So we're sort of a 3-month delayed system. So we're not going to know how the market's affected us till maybe September, October. So those sort of the grant and these are the times where, if we're all at home and have got a bit more time on our hands, this is the time to invest in your business, whether that be time or money. And people that have took the grants or the loans are hopefully using that money wisely and are not taking it out to help purchase property or doing things with that grant or business loan money that they shouldn't be doing. So it's just, for us, it's about, we want to help reassure people, and I always say to them, we want to know the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And then we know how to package it to the lender when it comes into us. So if you've took a bounce back loan, we just need to know why you've took it, so that I can then tell the lender, reassure them that you're not in trouble, that the money is still sitting there, for example, those sorts of things. We've got self-employed people who took the self-employed grant, and that may have only been a couple of grand, but again, they're affecting people that are trying to apply for mortgages. Now, if the lenders don't change their attitude towards this is going to affect us for the next 2 years, because it means that when I talk to a client, I'm going to have to say, did coronavirus affect your business 2 years ago? Did you take the bounce back loan? Did you take any of the grants? And that could be for 2 years.
There's a long-term effect.
Yeah.
It's awful, isn't it? It's really, really bad. And
I
think that's why. Sorry, Natalie, carry on.
We've got lenders that are not accepting furlough income at the minute. Whereas we've got other lenders that will accept the furlough income, but then they just want to be reassured that the company is still all right and still trading. Because what they worry about, and you can't blame the lenders, is that they might have 30 staff on furlough because they can, and actually their plan is to make 10 of them redundant when the time comes and the furlough stops, and the other 20 might go back to work. So that's going to always be the worry for people
of
as well.
course. But I think if you've got at least people coming through your door to talk to you about this, sometimes, the fruits of your labour don't reap the rewards until years down the line. So people could walk through your door now, be unsuccessful or be having a difficult time, but when the time comes when they can get a mortgage, you're going to be the person that they come to do it. So
that's what we've always we've always been an advisor type, that if I can't do anything now, I will show you how to get everything ready, how to liaise with your accountant if you're self-employed, how to get your next 2 years books ready. I mean, I even say to people, just do your books, do your accounts, send them over to your draft copies over to me, and I'll tell you what you can borrow based on those draft accounts you've got. And then with your accountant, if you want to increase your net profit to help get a mortgage, then that's obviously entirely up to you, aware that you've got to then pay tax. But if you always keep your net profits around the 10,000-20,000 figure, you are only ever going to be able to afford an £80,000 mortgage, roughly. So you've got to aim high if you want to get up there and get your dream houses and dream mortgage.
Absolutely. Well, listen, carry on putting the content out. I think we've got actually 30 seconds of a clip from your YouTube channel that we can have a look at now.
Equity release and lifetime mortgages. We are qualified to give that advice on these. What we will often do is come out and see older people. I don't like to use the word old because they're generally people just over the age of 55. And I'm not that far away from that. So we will double check to see whether a lifetime mortgage suits somebody or whether a normal mortgage might suit them, because if they've got enough income, they might be able to go onto a normal mortgage still or stay on a normal mortgage. So this example, I've got two lovely old ladies, one age 78 and one age 93. This lady is single, so no partner, husband. She has a state and private pension of about £1,000 a month in total, so not a massive amount to live off. The value of her house is £150,000. She wanted a mortgage of £60,000, and basically that was to pay off a small NatWest loan at £110 a month, a family gift to give to all her grandchildren, and she wanted a better quality of life because she wanted to start going on holiday with all her friends.
That's fantastic. So injecting a bit of humour into there as well. I think it's really, really good. And I think, creating those scenarios as well, like you've done there, to really illustrate your point and illustrate the examples is really good. So I'm really excited to see that more of the content that you and the guys at Best4U are going to put out. We're actually, we're out of time now, I'm afraid. Our time is up, but thank you, Natalie, so much for sharing your insights, for being so open with your information. It's been really interesting for me. I'm sure people watching have got some valuable insights here. I hope that you can continue to put out content, and wish you all the best for the future, and looking forward to catching up soon. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
There you have it, guys. Episode 9 of the Video Lowdown. Talked to mortgage expert Natalie Barlow, dubbed the Mortgage Movie Maker. That was really, really interesting. I think, finance particularly, maybe not mortgages for a lot of people right now, but, finance in particular is a concern of a lot of people during this time. And I think you'll agree that Natalie's knowledge and her, and the knowledge of her team is second to none. So, if you are looking for help with your finances or mortgage, or you've got any questions like that, make sure you do get in touch with Natalie. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please do consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me and the channel just reach a wider audience, which is always a secondary goal, really. First goal is to just educate and inform and have a bit of fun, but secondary to that is to try and reach a wider audience as well. And it helps if you subscribe, leave comments, likes, share it around. Have a fantastic week, whatever it is that you're doing, and I will see you again next Wednesday at 10. Take care.